I'm Litsa Pappas, and this is your Carolina Minute. A man living in uptown Charlotte returned home last night to find burglars inside his home. Authorities in a small South Carolina town continue to uncover more gruesome details after a woman was found chained up in a shipping container. Officials now believe the suspect in this case is responsible for the murders of at least 4 others. It's the latest sign that the 2016 presidential election has strayed far beyond the norm. Republican Donald Trump is locked in a heated back and forth with Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We're following breaking news in Washington, D.C., where Capitol Hill is on lockdown after an officer-involved shooting. Officials say one Capitol Hill police officer was shot, and the suspected shooter is now in custody. We're told the officer's injuries do not appear to be serious. No other details have been released. Stay with Time Warner Cable News for more details on this developing situation. Friday, Governor Pat McCrory said the state will appeal to the High Court to uphold North Carolina's voter ID law. 3-year-old Jordan Dumont was reported missing Monday afternoon. Police found her remains the next day. Earlier today, Billy McCullen made his first appearance in court. He's charged with Jordan's murder. Right now, hundreds are gathering for a candlelight vigil for the little girl. That's where we find Time Warner Cable News reporter Kirsten Garris. Now, during rush hour, we had some crazy storms. I didn't even want to go get dinner and leave the station because there was so much rain and so much thunder. The water needs to be drained so officials can clean the Whitewater Channel after its water tested positive for the brain-eating amoeba that killed an 18-year-old woman who visited the center in June. This isn't the first time Airbnb has faced claims of discrimination. Last month, Gregory Selden, an African-American man from Virginia, filed a lawsuit against the startup. It's 8:01 now, and it's time to check in with your Weather on the One's forecast with meteorologist Tara Lane. And I have to say, I'm feeling refreshed after getting that extra hour of sleep last night. Yes. Good evening, I'm Litsa Pappas with your Carolina Minute.
We have not taken away any rights that currently existed in any city in North Carolina.
Governor Pat McCrory continues to stand behind North Carolina's newest law. Meanwhile, a lawsuit was filed this morning claiming it's a violation of the 14th Amendment. The law was passed last week in a special session in response to an LGBT ordinance passed in Charlotte that in part would have allowed transgender individuals to use the bathroom of their choice. Meanwhile, Georgia's governor has vetoed a similar measure known as the Religious Liberty Bill. Several companies, including Disney and the NFL, threatened to take business out of the state if passed. North Carolina has faced similar backlash after the signing of House Bill 2. And an 86-year-old woman is dead after she was attacked by 2 pit bulls in South Charlotte. Neighbors say there have been issues with the dogs in the past. We don't know at this time what provoked the attack. It's 9:01 now, and it's time to take a look at our Weather on the One's forecast with Chief Meteorologist Jeff Crum. So it looks like our week might be better than our weekend. Charlotte City Council met in a closed-door meeting to discuss a personnel matter involving Fire Chief John Hannon. This comes after City Councilman John Autry raised questions about a confidential personnel memo that was leaked to the media. Time Warner Cable News government reporter Kirsten Garris has been following the story for us. She joins us from the Government Center with the latest details. All right, thanks, Kirsten. And this afternoon, the City Council's Governance and Accountability Committee approved a policy prohibiting members from leaking information to the media. The policy states they should also not disclose confidential information, including premature disclosure of what transpired in a closed session. Charlotte-Mecklenburg police are investigating a deadly dog attack in South Charlotte. Police say family dogs attacked and killed 86-year-old Bessie Flowers, who was visiting family. Time Warner Cable News reporter Jenna Barnes has the story. Police say the dogs will be held for a 10-day quarantine as police continue to investigate. From frequent news releases to press conferences and protests, the backlash from the anti-discrimination law has caused a PR battle between groups that both support and oppose it. Communication strategists we spoke to gave insight into where the situation stands after nearly a week of national exposure and how it's being handled from a public relations perspective.
Republicans are right now on the defense. They are trying to explain why they did what they did, but they are up against a very organized opposition that also has a point of view, and so this is being waged in a ground that isn't always defined.
Communication experts predict the publicity will continue after a federal lawsuit was filed to fight the anti-discrimination law Monday. Governor Pat McCrory is blaming the media and a national campaign for distorting the truth behind House Bill 2. He answered questions Monday at a groundbreaking about backlash from companies' concerns surrounding the legislation. Georgia's Republican governor vetoed a similar bill this morning, saying it could encourage and allow for discrimination. McCrory says the bills aren't the same, and he's heard no threats from current or potential businesses.
I don't think they've really, I haven't heard them threaten to leave. I think this is another example of the media exaggerating. I have not had one corporation tell me that they're threatening to leave. I've had many corporations recertify their commitment to non-discrimination.
The NBA, which is just one company who released a statement last week, said it has some concerns about hosting the 2017 All-Star Game in Charlotte because of the new legislation. As March Madness continues, the Tar Heels are heading to the Final Four, and so are fans. How much it'll cost and what you need to watch out for when we come back.